Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going through how I created this scene for the theme park snack bar DreamSnap submission. Unfortunately, due to outside circumstances, with being extremely busy at work, as well as other games kind of taking priority as they near the end of their season passes prior to Dreamlight Valleys. I didn't get an opportunity to do this DreamSnap until very late in the week, and this video subsequently didn't get done in time to be posted before we got the results for the top it all off DreamSnap submission. So this is a little late coming to you, but I figured it's still good to put it out there just for posterity's sake and for my keeping record of everything I've done. I've been doing videos on DreamSnaps, my submissions and results, since about the third week of DreamSnaps, so not too long after it started, and I want to continue that process. So we're a little late, but hopefully you still enjoy it. This is a completely from scratch idea that I came up with. I have my theme park in my Peaceful Meadows, and I started out probably Sunday, I believe, Sunday night, going through and demolishing half of my Peaceful Meadows on the left hand side to make space for all the new rides and things. And I was thinking about doing my DreamSnap submission from that perspective, but I just didn't feel that, although I'm almost at a point where I like the placement of the rides and everything on that side, I didn't feel that it would make an aesthetically pleasing DreamSnap submission, so I chose to just scrap the idea of doing it there at all. And then Monday, I came over to Eternity Isle, found this place here, demolished the previous DreamSnap that I had done here for the It Came From Outer Space, and started from scratch. So I knew that I wanted to have the Ferris wheel. It's my favorite part of my theme park back in Peaceful Meadows, and I didn't really know what else I wanted to do. So this is where we started out with a fresh slate over here in Eternity Isle, and let's get into what we did to create this. Just know there is a little bit of a time skip at the end of kind of setting up the bones of this build. I forgot Tuesday after work to hit record when I started working on it again, so we kind of skip forward to this end result, but when we get there I'll tell you what changes were made, and you can kind of already see them here. So let's get into it. Okay, so we start by placing the Ferris wheel in the very back, and I start pulling out things that are theme park related. So I knew I wanted to use the Toontown fountain, the Wreck-It Ralph, like, food stands are very colorful. And because I know I wanted this to be at nighttime so that the Ferris wheel was lit up, I figured that those items would look beautiful at night. Also had to use some of the new Star Path items and some of the new crafting things that we got. These actual balloons that I'm using are from the first Star Path with the attractions that we had. I do later incorporate some of the new crafting balloons that we can craft, and I use the ice. I don't think it's an ice cream stand. It's like a refreshment stand that's all lit up on the left hand side, and I knew I wanted to use the pretzel stand. At first, I'm kind of playing here with the placement of things. I'm thinking maybe I can go for a more symmetrical look. I don't do many symmetrical DreamSnaps or builds, but I just didn't like it. So a lot of this is just moving these things around to try to find the angle. So I end up scooting a little bit forward and putting the angle of the photo from the end of the food court stands on the left hand side, and that's kind of the basis point that I crafted the rest of this from. If it weren't for that, the placement probably would have been fine on some of it, but I'm looking for that like perfect placement here. So the left hand side here, we can see that when I go to take the photo, the like canopies are getting lost amongst each other, and I want them to be visible a little bit. So I'm kind of trying to move around the placement a bit. So that's the majority of the time that I spent, was just going in and out of photo mode trying to find that perfect placement. And I wanted to include the new popcorn containers from the Park Fest event that's going on right now. I knew I wanted to include the popcorn stand from Toy Story as well, but I didn't want it to interfere with the pretzels. I wanted you to be able to read that very clearly. So I had to work on the angles quite a lot to get it exactly how I wanted it to be. And then I'm using the new tiling that we got as well for the parks tile, and just kind of moving things around here and there. And I am playing around with maybe putting a ride or a like the confectionery building on the right hand side, but again, with the angle that I had for the photo, it just really wasn't coming through in reading that way. So I went ahead and didn't really bother with it. I utilized the Starlight projectors that we got from the Starlight pack for the Bell Starlight bundle. I don't know what they called it, and use that to kind of use the backlighting throughout the photo. And let's see here. We're just putting the tile down everywhere, figuring out how much tile we actually need so that we can have the floor be visible and cover all of that area. I love this new tiling on the floor as well. I'm using that cinnamon stick as a placement for where I want to stand. So some little behind the scenes there. And this is pretty much the base point of what we're working on here. I do end up moving the first little seating area closer to my character and bringing things in closer because it kind of looked empty in some areas, and I wanted it to kind of be filled in more or have a more filled in look. Again, those tables are a little too close over there. It may not look it in the actual like build, but the perception that you get from different things when you're at a different angle in the photo mode do make a difference. So although you will see later too when I'm working with the flowers, at the beginning of photo you saw that how they look, and in the photo it looks completely different. So it's definitely important to play with like depth and the perception that you get from different angles when it comes to DreamSnaps, because it can make a huge difference when it comes to the actual end result, just by just moving things around a little bit. And this is pretty much what we're going with. Yep. And here is kind of that cut that I was talking about. Okay, so what changed was I did a ton of cooking. So I cooked a whole bunch of different things for this build and placed them on the stands on the left hand side, as well as on all of the tables so that there's food at the tables. I placed the popcorn containers around near the popcorn stand as if you can buy it there, and then as well as at some of the tables they all have little popcorn little canisters. I added more of those glowy florals here in between my like table section and the ordering section, just to fill in that area and give a little bit of a separation. And when I went to take this perfect photo, I realized that I did not do my tags, and I had just created a background. So here I am, since this is a decor challenge, junk piling behind things. I was so mad that I forgot this, but like I said, I did this build over the course of 3 different days. So I kind of had to give myself grace that I didn't remember that I didn't do this. So I'm going through and trying to put as high tags as I can, things that match the mandatory as well as things that match the bonus tags, so that I get the most bang for my buck in regards to placement of things, because this area doesn't have a lot of space like I maybe have in the past, where I pull the build forward so that I can junk pile behind the main build. In this case, there's not a lot of space in this area to do that, so I have to utilize putting things behind some of the vending stuff on the left hand side, lots of things behind the pretzel stand, and then a few of the like more low profile things behind the actual Ferris wheel, because I didn't want it to be visible in the photo. I just wanted it to be included for the tags. So that's what we're doing here. And then another thing that I am including is and we got it up to the hundreds just by junk piling. So it does help. Um, and then the last thing that I did was kind of place down some buttons around me to get some of the sparkle. I also am using the Big Hero 6 tools to kind of force them not to go in certain areas, especially when you have junk pile items or just items in general in your valley. The characters tend to want to go and get stuck looking at a certain thing, so forcing them to stay away from those items can be helpful if you're letting them free roam in your photo. So that's what I'm doing here, is making more of a parameter to where they can't get over there. And then I am also going to be using the critter here that I just got, the squirrel with the popcorn. And this ends up being the end photo that we get here of Mickey walking away. We have Goofy, we have our little squirrel, and lots of sparkles from the buttons and the cupcakes. And I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of sped up late process video on how I completed this DreamSnap, and I can't wait to get into more voting of what you guys came up with. I did some voting but haven't done a lot, and I can't wait to get into more votes. And let's just do a real quick last little peek here. Oh, I can't. It's too late, but I'll just insert the photo here. Instead, this is what it all looked like, so you can have a little bit of a closer look at it all. And that will do it. I will see you next time with my results for the top it all off DreamSnap submission, and I'll see you then. Bye.